Good afternoon from the beautiful Gold Coast. Once again, still a little bit cold in this neck of the woods. I just want to have a little yarn today and hit on the subject that I personally think, and through my experience, carries a lot of weight in connecting to sources that could be more supportive unconsciously to us all. For years I was a heavy drug user. Started off with like Ronson's lighter fluid, went on to the glue, had a shot of the juice, the petrol, the pot, the acid, and eventually it went to heroin and speed, and you name it. All you guys can identify that, drugs are that. They're a drug. And when I hit rehab and I was made aware that I had a drug problem, I thought that was my problem, that I took drugs. And when they started to confront me on my behaviours and my attitude and my reactions to other people and to the world at large, marrying up that I escaped in drugs because it was the attitudes and the behaviours that I was conducting in my life that were responsible for my drug taking. And I didn't accept this. I thought they were absolutely off the mark. I couldn't believe that they were suggesting that the way I was behaving was a correlation to my drug taking. I was in complete denial of this. I'd never, ever in my 27 years of living on this earth heard anything so absurd. And in no uncertain terms, I made them aware of what I thought of that. But as I moved on from that program, after I graduated and I had seen that there was a correlation between my behaviour and what I was doing and the enjoyment of numbing my feelings or taking something to soothe my normal state of feelings. I started to question, why did I need to take drugs to feel good and enjoy. So when I left the rehab, I immediately started smoking marijuana at night. My mum and dad used to do something similar. At a certain hour each time of the day, they would have a beer. And that beer would continue on into the night and they would become intoxicated. So I started smoking marijuana because I enjoyed it. I was doing everything right. I was looking for a job. I was active. I wasn't stealing anymore. I wasn't being aggressive to other people. I was talking about my feelings. I was making an effort, taking risks and meeting new people. I was doing the things that I needed to do to find my place in pretty much mainstream society, looking for a place to live. So this little smoke each night was something that I believed that was okay, and I'm not saying for people that it's not okay. All I'm doing is, as I said, relaying my experience to recreational drug use. I was very aware that I wasn't going to go completely codependent like I was prior to my second last prison term in the end of 1988. It was now the end of the middle of 1990. I was very aware of completely going radical and acting in a way where my whole life consumed around getting on every day, looking for heroin and behaving in ways that was just completely unacceptable in society, and it was completely unacceptable to my soul. So it started where I'd have a joint a night, and I'd enjoy. I'd enjoy it, and this went on for a period of time. But I used to get sick of smoking marijuana at night. It went from one, then to 2 joints, and to 3 joints, and I wasn't much of a drinker. And then I'd stop. I knew I could stop because I'd lived in prisons for years and years and years and years and years, and I was living in there with abstinence. I wasn't on nothing in jail when I did all my prison time. So I could live, I realised if I could live like that in those environments where I didn't use anything, I could do it in society. And then I'd go back to it, and then I'd stop, and then I'd go back to it, and because I'd get sick of it. I'd get sick of doing it. And then I started drinking red wine when I become more financial. I used to go out for dinners a lot and socialise with business partners and parties and all sorts of social events. Red wine was very prominent. And then I started having some speed on the weekend, just drinking it. And I used to think about when I used to be high on the gas why can't I feel like this without being this high? And I used to think that when I used to put gas into my system or any other drugs, there had to be a chemical reaction within my soul to partner with drugs to give me the feeling. So it wasn't the drugs completely, wholly responsible for the feelings I was getting. Those good emotions had to come somewhere within my soul. Like, I believe the drugs released them, but they entered a system within my body for it to be released. So I knew that these feelings of having drugs were activating something that was within my organistic self, like we're all organs, and we organisms, and I used to question why I couldn't feel that or be at peace within my soul. It didn't matter how much I talked about my feelings, or it didn't matter how much that I reached out to get help in my struggles in my life. I still wasn't completely at peace or comfortable with my soul naturally. It was like a merry-go-round. I was off and on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off and on. Again, still functional. Still very, very functional. So I understand that when I was taking alcohol and marijuana and stuff recreationally and cocaine, I completely get. At first, it's enjoyable, but I don't know for you guys, but after a while, I got sick of it, and that's when I'd stop it. And then I'd go back to it, and then I'd stop it, and then I'd go back to it, and then I stopped it. And I come to the realisation that I ultimately wasn't respecting the spirit within me. I was good at respecting other people, and I was good at thinking of others, and I was good at taking responsibility for my actions and my decisions and my behaviour. But I wasn't good at acknowledging my soul that I have. And I call it the soul because I know when I die, the body's going to be here, but what is the petrol within our system that allows me to talk on YouTube? What is this soul? What is this spirit that I had neglected for years and years and years? Well, we've all got a different definition of it. And I believe we're all entitled to it. But irrespectively of what we think of it, it is very special and it's very beautiful. And the more we respect what we are, the more we'll discover what it is that I'm describing. Some people say it's Christianity. Some people say it's, it's Muslim. Some people say it's Hinduism. Some people, there's so many different definitions as far as where people think they come from, or what is, or who is the conductor of it, be that a God or whatever you want to define it as. I believe in Christianity, but I respect all forms of people's view on a maker, if that's what they have. So finding, like, what is there to find that I'm talking about? Well, I think you've got to give yourself time to find something. That's what happened to me. I stopped everything for a long period of time, and I started discovering more respect, more understanding, more compassion, more sensitivity, more nurturing, more loving, more gratefulness, more consideration within it. But I wouldn't have found that if, for me anyway, if I was going in and out all the time like I did for years and years and years and years and years. And there is benefits. The longer you can abstain from recreational drug use, if you're searching for answers within your soul, the better chance you have of finding something more than putting your soul into a turmoil situation of putting it out of whack on a day-to-day basis, as be that drinking wine every night, be that taking pills, be that smoking marijuana. But if you want to do that's all good in the hood too. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to talk about the more discovery I found within my soul and my spirit, and when I fortunately had the ability to stop everything. So there is pluses in discipline, if you want to call it discipline, because I tried so many times to stop and I kept going back to it. So I don't even know if it's discipline. I think it's more, for me, it's more respecting it. Just try and think of all the respect you have for others and how you conduct yourself around other people and how you hold yourself and what you think other people think of you and what you do to show other people that you want to help them and you want to care for them. And you want to be there for them, and you want to show people that you're there, and you want to do good in the world. You want to help people. Well, try focusing that on your soul and your spirit also, because you too need it. And you too have it. Because I don't think there is any human that is that unempathetic towards others or that selfish towards others that we don't show our true heart. And the more we show our true heart to ourselves, things just might change for the better in one's life. And never give up giving up. That's the other thing that I learned about drug abuse. Never give up giving up. Doesn't matter what age you are in your life. Never ever give up trying to stop. You will master it one day. age is not an indicator. Don't give up trying to stop something that you don't like doing. Yeah, so that's my take on recreational drug use, and that's the takeaway. Never give up, giving up, attempting to stop, and giving yourself time to respect your soul and look after yourself. Because you've got it in there and you know you can do it for other people, so do it for ourselves. I think that's really important to keep in mind. You take care now, and God bless us all, eh? Look after yourself.